Hey, hello everyone. Hey Pablo, how are you?
Hello, I almost forgot to unmute my microphone, which is amazing. Hey, folks, welcome to this incredible .NET AI community stand-up. So today we're going to do a demo. We're going to talk a lot of things about Copilot as well, and we cannot wait to you to learn more about Copilot of us doing, right? There's no better way to learn from practice.
Yes. And hey, I want to also say hi. I see that Jose and Douglas are here. Let us know where are you joining. And by the way, my name is Bruno and this is Pablo. We are both part of the Cloud Advocate teams doing .NET, AI, a couple of things. And hey, today is going to be kind of a different one because we have an idea. Let me add our desktop here. And I wanted to switch this and start to show a couple of things that we are using more and more, which is basically using agent mode, doing kind of a vibe coding, having fun while we are coding. And that's why we get to a point that, hey, kind of find that let's create a game and then use the game. If you follow me, you see that I was picking up some emulator projects that we have there from NES or Game Boys and more, and adding AI on top. But then I switch back and say, hey, how about if we create a game from scratch using agent mode and more? And this is kind of a nice timing because I think it was yesterday, yes, that we published and we communicate that the agent mode is generally available in MCP with MCP support. So more. So if someone wants to play around with MCP in Visual Studio, there it is. You have the full capability there, and it works great. I really like it. I am using this a lot to work with GitHub and generate issues, to update documentations. I don't know. I am doing a lot of stuff, and today is going to be kind of one of our key pieces to work here. I don't know, Pablo, are you using agent mode a lot?
I am using agent mode quite a lot. I really don't want to miss practice though, so I'm trying to mix a little bit of some normal coding. But I'm gonna say one thing that's really funny. Agent mode is addictive. Be careful for agent mode, folks. It's quite addictive. You really want to use it for doing a lot of stuff there.
I know. And also at the same time, you need to be the agent in the human in the loop need to be working there with the agent. But okay, we are going to talk about this. So
We're gonna vibe today, yeah.
yes, gaming. Well, this is what we are going to do. We are going to try to create a Space Invaders Galaga retro game today. I think it was at Build a couple of weeks ago when someone shows online that they created something like this. I see this a couple of times again. So I started to figure out, okay, if I want to do this, what can I do? And of course, I went to test this in example in Chat GPT. I use Chat GPT for personal stuff and more. So I went here, use not the best, not the latest, up to today model, a GPT-4o model, and I started to basically iterate on, hey, I want to create a prompt, not the game. I use GPT here to create a prompt to basically generate a similar Space Invaders game in a C# console application. And it was great. It was a nice experience. And this is a long thread. And let me show you why. Because initially, it gave me this prompt. Basically said, hey, create simple Space Invader style game with some controls, some enemies, the game loop, additional features, like keep the score, the game points when you shoot an enemy and more, keep counting seconds, show a game over. It was great. And it also was smart enough to understand that you need to create some different classes for player, enemy, bullet. I never programmed games, but back on the HoloLens day, I did some Unity programming, and I learned how well, if you isolate your classes with representation of objects and more, it's going to work very well, and C# is great for this. So I start to do this, and hey, it was even good enough to say, hey, do you want also the implementation in WinForms or Blazor? We are not going to do that today.
Wow,
But
that's so fancy.
yes, no, the ChatGPT went big here. It went, oh, I can do more. This is just a console application, but we can do more. So I ran this the first time. Didn't work very well because I have literally the enemies crashing me. So, okay, make the enemies shoot one at a time. Don't make the game crazy. Let me define some settings to define the speed of the game, because literally the first time that I ran this, it was bluff like this, and then add some colors. Let's make this a little pretty, a little beauty. So it generates again the prompt. It started to do some weird things here. It started to add emojis, which I do a lot. I use a lot of emojis. Pablo probably knows in our internal communications and more, but emojis in a prompt, not my style. But hey, it was kind of fine that to start to see, okay, we have again the controls, the enemies, the settings, start to use the console UI, when start to change the color of the console for each one of the enemies and more. Also, at this iteration, every time that they need to draw something, it used the console clear, which was not a very good experience because it's basically clearing your screen and writing again, so you can see the flicker in there. But hey, it was kind of nice, and then classes and more. And I like also for this scenario how if we start to talk with, an example, this is GPT, but you can do it with Copilot if you want, to generate the prompt, you can start to ask for more. And hey, here say that you know what, this version include single enemy, shooter logic, custom game, speed seeding, and more. And I like this idea of talking and iterating. And I think iteration is important when we use this large language model. I don't know, Pablo, I know that you also use this a lot. Do you have these conversations with the large language models?
So I gotta say one thing, which is funny why I'm saying it. Even though yes, agent mode is active, I use more chat. I love to chat with my models. I love to chat with like code, and I don't. It's not the correct name. It's not agents. I think it's instructors. The at vs at terminal. You know, Bruno, what
Yes,
I'm
yes.
referring to. So I use those a lot more than like agent mode, and I'm gonna say, well, I'm really addicted to use those. But I'm gonna say, here's a good part about vibe coding, right? Is that with vibe coding, you can actually achieve things very quickly, and in a not very, in a very sometimes you don't need to test because it tests for you. I remember that always when I try to build something on agent mode, you're gonna see this on the demo probably, but it tries to build for you before you even
Oh, yeah.
build, to see if you see errors, to see problems, to see a bunch of stuff. And if you have tests written, it's even better because it actually runs the tests for you, built until everything works, and then it goes to activate. So yeah, I would say that I'm using agent mode a lot. What I'm gonna say, it's chat, agent mode, then the Alt I. I don't know if folks know already the Alt I shortcut, which is like describing in the code itself. Was like the first iteration of Copilot.
Yes, and I think it's a key piece also to define what we want to do and where you need to do. So, example, somewhere here, I basically said here that create new classes. So I start playing around, make the rows of enemies move right and left. I started to define more things here. And hey, this is the moment where I have kind of a nice version. And because I was trying to also later do some AI to control the game, I need to have a screenshot of the game. So I need to have kind of an image of the game. So basically said, okay, you know what? Every time that you are drawing a frame, save the frame in an image, and every time that the game starts, you need to clear the temporary screenshot folder where you have the images. So again, I'm not generating code here. It's just generating very, very long prompt here, but we can see here that I have more classes. I have the player, the enemy, the bullet, the manager, the screenshot service. I have a couple of tips. And then somewhere also here, I started to, okay, and not this one, sorry, I think it's the next one. Not, I think it's the next one, but
It happens. I'm gonna say
yes.
one thing,
So,
folks. When you vibe code, you're gonna iterate a lot on your prompts. So if you want to vibe code something, you can see Bruno. Bruno's iterated a lot and a lot to get like the correct prompts. So if you don't, and how I know it's a good prompt or a bad prompt, that is the only way to find out is actually trying. You're actually going to try, you're gonna test, see what works, it doesn't, and then you're gonna iterate. You're gonna iterate until you find like a very nice prompt that can more consistently deliver the results that you're actually looking towards. So don't be scared about how you're doing this prompts and how you're building those take some time to, you're gonna fiddle out a little bit in here and there, but it's kind of really cool about it.
Yes, and one thing that I like, in example, for these long prompts that they are going to do a lot of things, is to also generate a prompt that have steps. So the prompt is going to be a long one. So we have an objective, I have a description, I have an objective, but then I'm going to say, and I did it somewhere there, I lost the track, create a plan to do this. So in the step 1 is going to do this, create the classes. Step 2 is going to do this. Step 3. And what I like about this is that I frame this in the way that when you run this in Visual Studio, we're going to see it right now, it's not going to do everything at once. It's going to, hey, I did step 1. Are you okay? Okay, yes, proceed. Step 2, proceed. Step 3. Because I want to also be able to stop. No, change this. No, I don't like this and that. So I like to have the opportunity, I like to have the chance to also review the whole prompt, review the output in small steps where I can see, okay, I am happy with this and not happy with this and more. So as you can see, the prompt is getting longer. I started to add more stuff. So I also said, hey, screenshot service, you need to be connected to the game manager. So it makes sense what you are doing, a longer prompt. So I'm not going to show the full everything, but I have here, somewhere here in the top, I have here the latest prompt. So let me copy the prompt and let's run this. And as you can see, it's a big one. So I am going to copy the prompt. And what do you say, Pablo? Let's try to make a game.
Let's make a game, Bruno.
And by the way, I'm using the latest Visual Studio 2022 in preview. Let's create a console app. Yes, there it is. And if you ask why I am doing this, don't care about this. CUDA is still fun. You need to do
you care. Bruno is creating the new models, silence on that. I know Bruno is doing amazing models on his side gig.
Yes, and how long is we have here Minat asking how long is the prompt now? It's very long. I am going to share the prompt later. It's part of the repo where we are going to have this, but it's kind of a long prompt. So where is my Visual Studio? There it is. Let me
I want to make big attention, folks. Before we're gonna update Visual Studio soonish, but I want to make you know one thing. If you want to enable agent mode, you need to go to your options, update to the newest version, and then update an option on Copilot. So you go to settings. Yeah, update your
Copilot. I forget about that. Yes. So this is the hello world. This is what we are going to start.
Yay, hello world. I love that.
In the options that you have here in projects and GitHub, you need to enable. Oh, now it's enabled by default.
Oh, yay.
Cool. This is probably in the latest version, but yes, just in case, you need to enable this by default. If you don't see the agents, you need to enable this, and you will have this the same for MCP integrations.
Good point, Bruno.
So we are here, we go to Copilot, and we are going to start the magic. So we are here working, as I said, the latest version. We have everything up and running. I am not going to go crazy with the models and more. I've been using GPT-4.1 for the last couple of months. I can't remember. I've been
really? Wow.
I switched from GPT to Cloud 3.7, now back to GPT 4.1, and it works great for C#. I usually test the new ones. I can't remember which are the ones that we have available here. Also, we have Cloud 3.7, we have Gemini, we have GPT 4.1 and more. So depending on what you have, there are more things. And I am going to paste my super long prompt. And as I said, I'm going to share the prompt later. Someone wants to use it. And we have the questions here. Is what do you think about discussing CUDA at an upcoming event? I mean, we can talk about that. The next episode, we are going to talk about .NET tensors and .NET specific data types to work with tensors, to work with machine learning stuff. So maybe we can talk a little about CUDA there with Tanner and more. But CUDA is usually C#. I haven't done anything in CUDA. I'm sorry, C++. Haven't done anything in CUDA with C#, but I don't know. Maybe we have something to show there. I haven't think about that. So let's go for it. So hey, we are here. By the way, this is my latest iteration when I need to basically specify here. Always use UTF-8 for the system encodings. Otherwise, the characters are going to be crazy bad. Never use plus, minus, whatever, because they are very, very bad. But we can start. So I'm sure the first one is going to start to work with this, going to start to define the next steps, and we are going to start to have something here. So, okay, of course, first change is going to be the program change.
Yeah.
Start to create new files, start screen,
Bruno,
game manager.
can you zoom in on the chat? Yeah, exactly. But quick note for you: can use Control Scroll as well to zoom in and zoom out on chat.
In the code, because in the chat you can't do control scroll. Oh, there it is. Yes.
I said to you, we can now.
We can now. This is so cool, man. I didn't know this. Oh, I need to go back to talk with Matt and the Visual Studio team and say thanks. This is amazing for online presentations.
It is. And it's good accessibility as well, right? So I'm really happy that they added that.
Hey, we have people saying hello, Jose saying thanks, holy moly. I hope it's a good holy moly or not a bad one. Have some feature alarms.
Yeah.
And more. So, hey, we have here the 3 classes, start screen, game manager, and more. If I scroll down here, I will see that, hey, now I finish this, so let's keep the classes, and it's going to say, you can now proceed. Remember that I told you that I like to create my long prompts step by step. So I can say right now, hey, proceed with implementing the logic detail, which I think it makes sense. But at the same time, we can go here and start to see, okay, the program is big, it's changing the encoding. This is important. I learned this in the bad way. By the way, I haven't tried to use here, we can give it a try if someone wants. I haven't tried to use a Spectre console of any of the libraries that we have to manage the console in a better way. Right now, it's all going basic mode, but there it is. We have the start screen. We have the key managers to validate 1, 2, 3 for the speed and more. Let's take a look at the start screen. So we have a name here, Space AI Net. How to play, move left, move right. Oh, this is going to be bad. I know. UTF and these characters are not going to be happy about this. Take screenshot, quit, speed, and the game manager is not doing anything. But right now, kind of in the first step, it did what we were expecting to do, which was basically create the screen, create the game manager, implement basic stuff, and then we can move forward.
Yeah. One thing I may add to the folks is that some people are going to say, why are you doing right line? Copilot is doing a lot of right line because here's the thing, Bruno. I know game developers. Game developers love their JSONs, like to compact things. Like just print this JSON out or just print this config file out. Don't like put everything in code. We know this. Don't worry. This is a proof of concept. If you want to improve and modularize your game more, you can ask Copilot. You can actually ask Copilot to modularize a lot of things for you. But here, proof of concepts are going to have a bunch of right lines.
Oh, yes. And hey, remember, this is a test. This is how I am learning to use agent mode and more. So I can do this, or I can basically go back to my original prompt and say, hey, run this in a one shot, do everything there, and it will be a cool one to have. But we can see here that I think I did 5 steps to make it more interactive.
Yeah.
And in the next step, I say, okay, let's work a little in the SpaceNet screen. So let's center this horizontally, center the subtitle, left a link. So it's going to do a lot of things and more stuff and read errors. So let's keep these changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, don't forget to keep changes. If you close Copilot or if you don't, it will just be like on this changed state. So always click if you feel that it's going right to keep changes. Or if you didn't like it, click undo. it's fine as well.
Yes, and what I like about also this approach is that when you start to work with this and you start to see this, doing this change, doing the other, doing this change, doing the other, you can even close Visual Studio, open it again, and you will have everything there. So you will have all of the info, everything there. So right now, what has been done? So I like your trick about zooming this. Let's minimize the changes. So what it did right now is starting to implement the game loop logic. Initially, it make the needs for the player, enemies, and more. It's handling the input. It starts to do a lot of things. I have changes in all of these classes. And if I start to
Holy
take a look,
moly.
yeah, so the game manager should be bigger right now. Doesn't have anything yet here, but we had to have a screenshot service. Start screen is literally like the previous one. The player doesn't have anything. Enemies doesn't have anything. But I have my classes. I'm starting to get there. So I am going to go back here, arrow up, go back to my last command, my last prompt, and run this and keep generating the game. What is going to do now? To implement the bullet class.
I love the name bullet class. It's so
Yes.
fun. It makes sense, but it's kind of okay, bullet class, sure.
We have the bullet class. So let's save this. Oh, I don't need to do anything else and proceed with the next steps. And what I like to do also at the end is to kind of review all of the steps, kind of prompt. I'm going to go faster right now. So let me minimize this. So it's going to change the colors, start to manage the arrow keys, start to set up a fire 3 bullet. So we have everything here. Keep, save everything. Next step.
Folks, welcome to Vibe Coding.
Yes, and I am supposed right now, I am supposed to read what is happening here. So the enemies here, I supposed to go here and take a look at the enemies. So in example here, these are the characters that we're going to use as the enemies. If we go to the prompt, to the big prompt, not this one, the other one, somewhere here in the prompt, somewhere here in the prompt, I define the enemies, the player, the enemies. There it is. So this is where I say that they are going to be top row 5 enemies, in the bottom row 3 enemies, and these are going to be the enemies. So this is how I ask the Copilot, how I ask the agent to generate my game, and somewhere here we have the implementation. So we have here the enemies. Let's save all. We are probably almost there. So it's going to render the states. It's going to start to do basically the print screen. It's going to start to do stuff here. It's implemented. We have everything. One more time, save, keep. And at the end, it's going to also, perfect. This is the moment that in the game manager, started to put everything together. So if I open the game manager, I'm going to start to see that it's going to start to generate the necessary code here to move the enemies, move the players, manage the shoots, manage the... I can't remember if this is what we don't see that is happening in the back, but it's generating everything. And it's going to also manage the score, the timer, and more.
One thing I might add for you folks is that one thing I usually like to do while I'm vibe coding is if you really want to, you can write tests. Remember TDD? I don't know if a lot of people remember TDD. Test-driven development. Vibe coding fits a lot of test-driven development. And you may ask why. Because then you can write the test. First, you can write a bunch of tests, automate these tests. Write feature, test, feature, test, feature, test. It becomes way easier in how you write it and how you maintain consistency around the code. I know it's one of the biggest critiques on vibe coding is consistency. So this is the best way that you can maintain consistency while vibe coding. It's basically try to maintain a consistent test and for the environment. Another thing is solution design, architecture, but this is like way out of the scope of this live right now.
Yes, and hey, we may want to do not TDD because it's too late, but we may, if someone is interested, let us know in the comments, and we are going to create kind of a couple of tests to validate this. And right now, I think we are at the end of the game manager also. So we have implement collision. No, it's going to be implement the collision detection. I asked this as part of the prompts that the collision detection needs to be basically super isolated, so I can check when we are hit by a bullet or we hit one of the enemies with one of the bullets. So it's going to happen everything there. But once again, if you are going to do this is the approach that I personally like, to have a big prompt but implement the prompt step by step, so you can take a look how is the code being generated. And we are going fast today because we only have an hour, but it usually takes longer time to do this. So here screenshot functionality, and this is interesting. Right now we have probably the game up and running. I don't want to run it just in case, but the next step is to take a screenshot. And it was interesting. I used to take a screenshot of WinForms, WPF applications. I never did one in console. So what it's going to do right now is going to basically use the system.drawing.common. And because it's not referenced in the project, at some moment we are going to have the ask. So it's implementing the screenshot functionality in the game manager, and we are going to have the ask here in the Copilot chat window to add that reference. So we see build failed. This is what you mentioned before, Pablo, that is trying to build. And hey, you know what? I want to do this. Let me switch them. I want to run this in the terminal. I want to run the .NET add reference. So I am going to allow this, and it's going to add the package into the solution. Then when the package is added, it's going to try to build again. Now we are good, build successful, and we have almost there. So right now it's also adding a screenshot. And remember, the screenshot service, which is here, it used this library, the system drawing, which was not part of originally of the game. But if we go here to the packages, right there it is. It's installed and it did like this. So this is full agent mode. If you run this without any steps, you will see that everything's happening on a single shot, including the add this. But before adding the package, you need to specifically allow the agent to do this. So I think we are ready there. Let me see what else we have. And we have here some people saying hi. So we have Jose from my city, Cordoba, Argentina. This is where I'm born. I'm going to be visiting later this year also. We have also Jose from Alemania. I'm sorry, Mainat from Alemania and more. Super cool.
I'm gonna say one thing, folks. If you have any questions at what we are doing, let us know, because we know agent mode and vibe coding, especially for the .NET community, seems kind of new thing. So we want you to be sure that you have any questions answered by us here. We are here live right now, so let us know anything you may want to know. By the way, I want to help you with one question, getting ahead. It can add packages. It can add almost any type of file because it uses the console. So it actually can run commands in the console. It can add even new projects. Imagine that I want to add like a project to our solution, a test project. So it can actually create a project, add to our solution, and then boom. So these are things you should be aware of while you're doing all of this as well.
Yes, and hey, this is interesting, and I haven't seen this in the previous test. It suggests me. I haven't asked for this. I only asked, give me the arrows to move, the space to fire, the arrow to move left and right, the space to fire. But somehow it's also said, hey, if you press R, the letter R, it's going to rerun the game. It's going to restart the game. Why are you doing that, Copilot? I haven't asked you to do this.
This is stochastic. By the way, vibe code is stochastic. Sometimes you think of things to add if you ask for next steps.
Oh, so, yes. If I proceed with the next step again, let's see what else it's doing.
it is going to be fully stochastic. It's going to think of something to add.
So it's going to try to go back to consolas, which I think it's fine. Okay, I think we are fine to give it a try.
Okay, let's run. We didn't run at once. Yeah, we need to check if everything is working.
So let's build it. It's building fine. Yes. Let's run this.
Let's run.
So it's opening here. Okay. Remember what I told you, that these arrows are not going to show well, perfect. So it's kind of there. We have 3 speeds, 1, 2, 3. Let's press 1 and we are here. Oh, this is a big one.
Wow, look at that.
It's kind of nice.
It is.
And let me...
Folks, we vibe coded that. That's it.
Yeah, so a couple of... And by the way, let me go here to... not this one, in this one. Let's share the... Let me share the prompt so people can have access to the prompt.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Absolutely.
Prompt game console.cs. And I am going to share the prompt with everyone in literally 1 minute. So if someone wants to do what I did, literally what we did with Pablo in 5 minutes, in 1 click, public gist.
It's more like half an hour for vibe coding, but it's a lot quicker than just...
Yeah, so here, oh my God, I minimize. So there it is. This is the full prompt with everything. And if you want it, there it is in the chat. And probably, Pablo, if you want to create an aka.ms, the temporary one.
Oh, absolutely. Let me create. Do we have an aka.ms for this series?
I don't know. Let's do one gaming or
Oh,
whatever.
it is complaining. I need to turn on my VPN.
I know, yes, the AKA now requires that. But hey, going back here, we created kind of a nice... Oh, no. VR was not where we were playing the game. It said basically when you finish, this time I was hit, said, okay, if you want, you can press R to restart or any K to exit. Oh, cool. Cool. But
That's cool.
When I start the game, I don't have R here. I don't have any R letter here. I should probably say that something like, and by the way, this is full byte coding stuff. I will say something, update the start screen class showing that at the letter R will restart the game. So let's ask this once again. Agent is going to figure out which is the right class to update and more. It's reading the start screen, and I started to do that. And Jose is suggesting that we invite Anthony, yes, to talk about Informer Shop. Yes, we have this on the loop. The challenge that we have right now, it's probably in his 4th dream right now. Anthony lives in Australia, so the time zone for this one is not good, but we can record the show with him and do it like this because, yes, Transformer Shop is in our to-do to do this. So let's see
Bruno,
what we have in the start screen.
I'm gonna say I learned one thing today. Folks, don't turn on your VPN while you're doing live streams because everything is going to... I knew that, but I tried even to say, oh, maybe it won't fail. This time it's like just... They didn't load our aka.ms thing and didn't crash the stream.
So the game is almost there, no? It's fine, and it's also if I open the solution folder, if I open here the game folder, being the dotnet screenshot, open in File Explorer. Where is this? There it is. So this is the screenshot that we have. It's not saving everything. It's missing a couple of parts, but I remember that I told you that the arrows and the Unicode is important. So this is the image. I think it's fine to understand what we have, but at the same time, this is a good starting point to basically say, okay, now maybe with all of this, we can use a GPT model. We are going to use a GPT model because this is the one that we have close enough. And later, if we can, we are going to use a local model or maybe create an agent and more to manage the game. So that's kind of the next step of doing something like this. And I am going to do a couple of manual steps because it's going to be faster. So let me create a new class library. Class library, and we are going to do .ai. Yes, super. I'm super original with the stuff. I am going to add the reference.
Great AI, more AI.
I'm going to add this one here. So we have right now Game Labs and Game Labs 01 AI having the class. And what we are going to do is we are going to use Microsoft Extension for AI and a couple of libraries to basically use these models. As I said, because we are running behind the clock, I am going to add my reference already here in the fast way. And the reference that I'm going to add here are going to be literally the ones that we need for doing some AI, which is going to be Azure AI OpenAI. Oh, I lost Summit. Let's get back Summit. So we are going to add Azure OpenAI, extension, Microsoft Extension, user secrets, Newtonsoft. And if we want to run this later locally, I am going to go ahead and do some Ola mashup. So let me create, I don't know, suggest me, let's do a name for the one that is going to game action processor. I don't know. Let's do, yes, I know. We should probably need to do this better, and let me copy the basic line set of this. Let me do something like this. Public. So let's implement the credentials. Let's implement the chat client and do some credential. No. What I am missing is, oh, I need to do this in the constructor. So there it is. So we have here the constructor that is going to basically create a chat, and let's create a chat field to have it here. So a field chat. There it is. So we are going to have a chat that is going to use Azure OpenAI, one of the models that we have there to process this. So with this, and we are going to do the implementation later, this is the moment that I can go back to the agent mode, and because it's Game Labs 01, it's already had the reference to Game Labs processor, I can set something like, I don't know, how hard we want to go with vibe coding, Pablo. We try to do this.
Let's go intermediate. Let's do some vibe coding for sure, but let's fix like anything on our hand. I think it's good to show good practices. I know it sounds funny to some people. Good practices for vibe coding, but we need to take control some of our code as well. If not, you're gonna just
and this is something that it's really useful when you are working. Like an example, I am going to implement a class. It's going to be game result, and the idea of the game result is the game action result is going to, let's make this public, and this is going to be when the AI do the analysis. This is what I am going to have. I'm going to have a response that is going to suggest the next action. So the game is going to read the frame, is going to do the next action, and then it's going to explain why the ship need to move to the left, to the right, or fire. And then the explanation is optional, of course, but it's nice to have. And in order to do this, what we want to also have is something like, I am not going to implement this, but I am going to give move ahead with some of the, by the way, I'm missing here something. I am going to implement a class which is going to do something like this, which is going to do, analyze the frame, and I am going to ask for frame 1 and frame 2, and I'm going to explain why, because usually if we provide 2 frames, the current one and the previous one, the AI will be smart enough to understand, oh, the ships are moving in this direction and the fire is going down or more. So we are going to have some kind of history. And then it's going to basically, and the last action, and it's going to understand, okay, you are doing this, you are doing that. This is how you need to proceed. And of course, like we have some errors here because this is not implemented. So it's going to create a task result. But this is the moment that we can go and let's do game action result. So the new, and let's do return game action result. So we have here, but this is the moment that when we have this and everything is kind of fine, let's build it. Oh, I'm missing something. I'm still missing one. I think I deleted. So this is the moment where I can go back to Copilot chat and use a prompt like this one.
Let's vibe code.
And let me show you the prompt. Oh, not this one. Oh, I hate that when I paste, it tried to paste like an image.
Which is true, but yeah, it can sometimes be bothersome, yeah.
So this is the prompt that I'm going to paste. I am going to say, update the game logic support to do them AI, whatever, and then add an AI mode flag that is going to be true or false. Then when we have this, we are going to use the current class to determine the action. Then do this and that. And let's also analyze frames. So what is the name of this class here? So let's do the processor class. So we are going to do this. And let's see if the agent is going to solve this. By the way, you probably know that I already have this up and running. So we are going to see the final results if we don't have time. But it's kind of a nice one to have. So now it's going to do some heavy work because it's going to check how the games works. It's going to check where the screenshots needs to be saved. It's going to pick up the screenshots, and then it's going to try to update and connect everything. So let's see how the agent is working right now.
So to add some comments on what is going on, right? So the good thing of vibe coding, and I believe one of the biggest weaknesses of vibe coding is context, right? So the good thing about Copilot is that it can actually it really tries to get the context on your program. It read multiple, files that we have there, then it tries to interpret those to make like a very smooth coding experience. But one thing I may add to you is that sure, trust but verify, especially on things that they have already code bases. You should vibe code, of course. Vibe coding is such fun, but you should take care on what is doing. And remember, anything you don't like, you can press undo.
Yes, that's super important. And thanks for remind the people that this button here, I mean, this one is the cool one, and this one is the super useful one. If you don't feel comfortable, you can. And by the way, I never done this, and I know it's there. And again, it's probably depends. When I see people programming, I like to see how their flow going. But I also see that some people, they do this. They open the comparison word where you can double click here the class, and then you get here and you start to see, okay, it's add the bool flag that we asked. It did a couple of other things. It created the class that we need to do here. Remember that we asked here to have a processor class, and it's need an endpoint and a model ID and an API key. And then somewhere here is going to say, hey, if I have the AI mode enabled and the processor, do the analysis, perform the action. It's not going to do anything with the action yet, so doesn't make any sense. We want to do the action, but we have here hey, it's going to also store the last action. It's going to start to do a couple of nice things, and then I don't think we have any other change. Oh yes, we have perform AI. Oh, it's going to perform the action. So this is cool. Based on the output, it's going to make so this may work at the first one, at the first shot. So let's give this a try.
Let's do it.
I mean, I need to do some cleaning here or
classics.
Yes. So I think it didn't. What are we missing? Oh, this implemented this. I don't want this flag. This is a compilation flag. I want a flag, a real flag, a bool flag here. AI mode false, AI mode true. So, okay. So I don't want this. Yes. And here we have, oh, and this is super, super ugly. This is how it's trying to get the, what are we doing here? The render to PNG. This is how it's trying to do the get type and more. No, there is something bad here. So this is the moment that I go back here and I say something like fix. And hey, agent, do your magic. So it's going to start to analyze the code. It's going to try to figure out what is happening here. And it's going to start to fix it. And it can go in 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the iterations. I will also take a look here of what is doing here. Read errors. Let's build it. There it is. And we are going to have an error right now, which is going to be that if we want to do this, if we want to start and start to do the AI is always false. So I need to also set to my, oh my God, if you change this, it's ugly.
Oh,
I need to go here, and the Copilot chat also said that implement the key press for the key A to enable
AI.
or disable the AI mode. Update the start screen to show this. So we need to implement the key press to do also enable AI true false and then see if we are going to have it. And by the way, this is the moment that you start to do really vibe coding. Ask one thing, see what's happening, and do more. And wait for the changes to be there. So we have there the AI mode. Somewhere here is going to, probably not going to see, is going to super fast. There it is. And
that's so cool.
It's changing, a lot of classes.
You want to verify if those look fine before we run, or just build and see errors?
I am going to go crazy. Keep, save all.
Oh yeah, we just have to 11 minutes. Yeah, we need to run.
So I have here the Toggle AI mode. So we are going to start. I am not very good playing the game, but if I press A, okay, we have an error, and this is expected because we haven't provided the class with the API key, with the endpoints and more, but it seems that, hey, it's kind of working. It's kind of, hey, yes, you know what? We have it here. So this is the moment that I need to change this to use some user secrets to get these values. So in order to do this, let me copy and paste. I don't want to share my credentials here.
Show your credentials, Bruno. Those are really desirable.
Every time that I do this and I share the credentials, I need to get back to our shared resource and basically paste everything again and create new ones. So now this is easier to do. So
folks,
when I am here and I am in the game manager.
While Bruno is generating his credentials and adding them here, let us know of any questions you may have. We are in the last 10 minutes, and we would love to have some questions for our last 5 minutes. So please let us know anything we did here. If you want to understand a little bit better, if you can show some code to you to understand, or some of the prompting, let us know.
And let me. Okay, so we are almost there. What I did is I add some user secrets where we have the endpoint, the model, the API key, and now it should probably be working.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. By the way, I hate this. I need to fix this. Let's fix it in the next one. Let's start with 1. So we are there. And if we press the letter A, So we are still, if I share the right, I may read the configuration from the wrong one. So let me copy again this.
It's fine. Happens with the best of us.
Manage user secrets. There it is. And just in case. By the way, as you've seen, we didn't add any breakpoints or anything. We are going fully in let's run this mode. What is happening?
Oh, we got some questions, but I'm gonna wait on Bruno to try to run it again.
Where you've been prompting the NSM mode for a while and have quite a lot of content, but is there a way to application to create a summary of this going forward? Yes. So what I like to do, and that's a very good question. In example, remember, I started with a very, very big prompt, and then we add stuff to make it, to change, to add the R button. No, it automatically add the R button. We add the stuff to do AI and more. So what I can ask, and that's an amazing question, by the way. This is the question.
Yeah.
From Marcus. You've been prompting, you do a lot of stuff. You have a big context there, built up there. You've been doing that. Maybe this is the moment that you want to ask the model for, hey, something like this. Suggest an updated prompt.
One thing that I may say about context is that what I usually suggest is one thing. We have a paper on LLMs. So I'm trying, as I like to say, I am the guy that tried to be more honest other than like we hype. But let's be clear about one thing. Context degrades. So what I mean by that is that if your context grows too large, your code quality can decrease slowly. Not saying that it will, but it's a real possibility. So sometimes what you need to do is just to create a new chat. You can even see have a new bubble there, bubble plus, like on the top right. So you just create a new, and then you have a new context. You can do multiple things there. Don't worry too much about the context, but yes, on how you're prompting, how you're adding your archives. You can even see here on our chat window, we have a plus. So if you need to add context, just add that plus. But if you use like a single chat, it's usually better to focus the chat on like one feature for a very big code base or something like that. Just be very specific, and that will complete the function really well. It can do everything, sure, but if you is like a very small detail that it can miss, it can do like multiple specialist chats to go and fix small stuff here and there.
Yes, and hey, this one here, this very, very long one here, which is also in Markdown, is the prompt that includes everything that we did from the original one to the end. So this is another way that you can get the latest one, because at this moment here, you can do a /clear, and boom. Oh, we don't have clear. Clear, I think it's something in VS Code. But this is the moment that you can do this. By the way, we only have 5 more minutes, so let me switch to the final implementation of this, where everything is happening, everything is running. And the main difference here is that we have, in the final one, I haven't write this, we have this huge prompt, which is, by the way, was also written by the GPT-4 one, which said, hey, you are a video player, you know how to play Space Invader, your job is to analyze the 2 game frames, the current and the previous one, and do this and that. Give me an output. The output need to be a JSON output that will define the next action and the explanation, and then you can run this, you can have everything. And I have here the full implementation to code the large language model to basically add the prompt plus the images, and then run this. When I run this one, I have this, which is basically very similar to what we had before. I fixed the arrow right and left. I find that one before. Let's do the slow mode. So this is playing. And if I press the letter A, you are going to see how it's going to start to do some stuff. it gets stuck sometime with undefined. It's starting to move right and left. So starting to, okay, so we have a bullet here. You need to fire sometimes. You need to fire some shots. I think it's broken there. Something happened. Something happened. I don't know. It's still working. Oh, we have a crappy. Oh no, continue. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we have. Oh, this is important. In order to not to block the game, what I did, I ran this in a different thread, and I need to figure out still the way to make it work, because it's not, when we have the two threads, the communication with the two is not very good, but it's kind of fine. I also add in the prompt that if you don't know what to do undefined. And sometimes, don't fire there, man. That's not very smart.
No, GPT, no.
It's finding where is no one there. Now you need to wait and fire.
No.
There is room for improvement here for sure. Oh, it's kill one. Perfect. Now move to the right. Move to the right. Come on, there it is. So I need to get to.
It died. Okay, go on, Bruno.
It's kind of nice, and it's working, and it's giving the sense. I mean, again, there is a lot of room for improvement. So you basically need to define how far I need to move. It's going to the left, to the right, when you are moving maybe one character or three characters. So there is a lot of other things that we can do. But this was literally took me a couple of hours of vibe coding, taking a look at this and that, learning a lot, because it was kind of a nice experience. Again, it all started here. This is the huge prompt that you can use to create your own console application. This is the one that we created at the beginning that was mostly working. And it all came because we have, not this one, because we have this. We have agent model. Agent mode is here. It works. It's a nice starting point to do other things. By the way, if you connect your NCP servers like ADO or GitHub or more, you can do amazing things. I don't know, and I kind of like it. What do you think, Pablo?
Oh man, I think that's incredible. That's the amazing thing about the agents, right? You can do like what was before 10 hours, 12 hours of work. Not saying Bruno take 12 hours to do this, but Bruno would take at least 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, yes.
Bruno's smart, Bruno's amazing, and Bruno is high level, amazing programmer, but it's just the time that to type, to think about infrastructure, to think how I'm going to call this, etc. It takes some time, right? So agents doing that like in an hour, it's like an empowering move that can help anyone to not only to code, it can help you to be faster, to deliver things faster, and do amazing stuff by yourself. That would be like 3-4 people, now just you, and that's incredible. And I see Frank. Hey,
Frank said that, yes, Frank, we love Frank. And hey, two of my favorite people said, Frank, we need to talk on your taste, man. You need to get better taste, Frank.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, it's a great start. I'm not probably going to spend much more time here with this demo. Probably do this and that and show the agent I am going to share the repo somewhere there, but it's a great start. Vibe coding, AI, doing something, learning a lot, and I like it. I like it a lot. And hey, people are starting to say hi. I can't access Twitch. I need to double check my Twitch account, but Marcus, thanks for being here. And we are at the end. So thanks everybody. Thanks everyone. I am not going to say anything about my friend Pablo, who is starting vacations soon. I am not jealous at all. Not going to say when or
just a week. It's just a week, folks.
But hey, once again, thanks everyone. Pablo, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for the support and more. See you everybody in Discord. If you want to contact with us in the AI Discord, you can find us. And hey, see you all next one.
Go to the AI Discord. I'm going to be around to any questions you may have there in chat as well. Thank you, folks, so much. See you next time.
Bye.